get rolling, I thought before we get going, I wanted to give a shout out to the fans. I thought the fan support tonight, it was awesome, and caused a couple of false starts and some use of timeouts. And so today, home field advantage helped the defense play better on third down. And so, own way, that was complimentary football. And but we felt that energy and support from the sideline. You could feel the energy that was brought. So that's the home field advantage that is such a big deal. But past that, I thought today complimentary football was on display. It's something that you guys know I've talked about a bunch, things that sometimes don't show up on the stat sheet. And the play that's coming to mind for me was a long run by Eckler, and who's finishing downfield is Olamide, Zacchaeus to recover and to go, because those are turning points in it. Defensively, to see some stops after some turnovers, I thought was a big deal. One was a field goal, and one was a stop where they punt. And when you get those chances to get a stop, to go get a score, things look a lot different in the game. So all that said, glad to open up to you guys, and it was just cool to be back home. I feel like we've been on the road for a long time, so to get back home and feel the energy of the home crowd, like it was a blast.
I asked you this a couple of weeks ago, but he keeps doing it. When Jayden makes a play on the move and throws the ball 60 yards downfield or drops it in a bucket to Diami, what is the impact on that, on the defense?
Yes. Yeah, it can be demoralizing, because all of a sudden you're created some long yardage scenarios, just what I was referring to on the third downs. And so to have a big shot, to even when the person's guarded well, to put it in the only spot it could go, the play that comes to mind before today was the one to Terry at the end of the Cincinnati game, where there was only really one spot that you could throw that pass. And he had a couple of those scenarios today. And I thought, quite honestly, it was a grimy start for the offense. It didn't go good. And I had told him inside, sometimes you learn as much from that start as you do from the 27 for 29, because different ways. But at the end, what I can tell you is, like, he processes quickly. And all right, this is how they're going to go, then this is how we're going to go play. And so you learn from those as well. And I'd much prefer lessons and learning after winning, I can tell you that. But all of it's information, and he's such a remarkable competitor that he does learn.
Congrats on the win, Coach.
Thank you.
We talked about Frankie Luvu multiple times during the course of the year, but can you talk about him specifically in this game?
Yeah, he brings energy to our team and, like, unbelievable support. So his ability to create disruptive plays going forward, the physicality. And so last week was the catalyst, I thought, the forced fumble and the recovery of a big play to go. Today I felt more of his presence, honestly, going forward and rushing the passer to make some plays into that way. But he brings a lot to our team. It's the energy, the standards, the the substance to him, and it's awesome to have the yin to Bobby's yang. Like Bobby Wagner is as cool as you can get in just about every scenario, and then next to him is Frankie, who's wound up as wild and fun as you can get. So it's nice to have the balance of both of them, doing their thing.
And then we talked earlier in the week about the group of number 2 receivers with Noah Brown out today. Can you talk about their impact on today's game?
Yeah, and we knew there would be some spaces, and I thought Diami especially would have some chances to run through some ones to go. And I felt his speed, his energy down the field. So to score, at the end of the half and get on top of somebody and playing man-to-man, those are the times where you say you have to win in man-to-man. We thought that would be the case this week. They've been historically a good man-to-man team, and even on the comments, hey, no free access. So we worked hard on releasing a man-to-man. Didn't quite start like we wanted, I can tell you that. But as the game wore on, I felt like there were more chances for the guys to demonstrate that, and they did.
Hey, Coach. So I want to go back to the point you were making on the 57-yard run by Austin and just the role that Olamide played in that. Is that something that's just a testament to the type of teammate and player he is, or you all have been practicing that?
I would say there's probably a little bit of both there. We do show those plays about the finishing and can we go harder and longer. And so that started well back, getting like OTAs and training camp. And sometimes we even show those examples from around the league of what finishing can look like at the end of a play. And that may be the wide receiver trying to go block the middle field safety so they can, get the long one to go. On that particular play, there was another receiver downfield block. I don't know if it's Luke or Terry, but I can see it in my head, but I just don't know which player it was. But downfield and finishing, it really shows the support of the guys they're with. and how hard they want to play for one another. And that's the connection and extension we've been looking for.
And typically we've seen, Jayden and Zach Ertz have a connection, but today, a couple of misses here and there.
Yep.
Just immediately after the game, what did you see there?
Yeah, I thought we had a couple of chances, and just I think if you'd ask them, sometimes you miss them. When you nail them, it feels good, and when you miss them, it doesn't. So knowing the two of them, I'm sure they will want to be going tomorrow out, to work on extra things to go. But yeah, those two have a really strong connection. So when you miss them, they don't miss them very often.
Dan, back to the long pass to Terry. It's kind of a scramble drill situation.
Yes.
What does it show about his development that he didn't just tuck it, but he kept his eyes downfield?
Yeah, I think if you remember, that was one of the things early on we talked about. I'm not sure if it was in Tampa or the Giant game where we thought there were some plays to be made down the field as you remain a passer. And so one of the things that I really appreciate about Jayden is like his ability to learn and process quickly. And so on the first game, the narrative was too many runs and this. And so yeah, he knew that, but now that you're going into finding different ways to do that, when to get out of bounds, when to slide, when to remain a passer to take your shots. And now the defenders can no longer come up. You've got to stay back in coverage because now there's certainly a dual threat. So I just love the way that he's growing. He really puts the work in. That's why so many of the teammates, have such high regard for him.
It's been a long time since this franchise has been 4-1. What does it feel like you're building, and what possibilities are opening up here?
I can't regard, for the past, but what I can say is for the group that's here, we really felt the fan support today. And I thought there was a definite home field advantage created. Defensively, it was loud. It felt like energy, like all the things that you want. But more than anything, just seeing the team connected, playing for one another, using this complementary football. I kind of referenced earlier the turnover that went to a stop, the fumble that was recovered by the offense. I thought our special teams continued to cover, to run and hit. I mean, there was a fantastic hit by by Jeremy McNichols. That energy that gets created is a big deal. And so we're going to continue to try to lean on all three phases. My favorite part of our team is the team. And there's all sorts of ways that guys are trying to find an edge and, do it for one another.
Yes, just a little housekeeping. When Jayden came out in the fourth quarter, was he banged up at all, or was that just kind of you wanted to get him out of the
He was
game?
not banged up at all. Yep. So it was just a chance to give Marcus some chances. For him missing time on IR, we thought it was important for him to get in and get some reps. Yeah, and so we knew Jim's background, and disguising, playing man, being aggressive and blitzing. And so going into it, we really worked hard at that, Sal, to make sure that we had some answers for zero. And early on, it wasn't good, in terms of them getting some stops to go. We were anticipating them playing man-to-man to play it aggressive, and we worked hard this week to try to, win those opportunities. But I thought as the game wore on, that's when we got stronger at it, because early on, like he had predicted, Jim's got good disguise, good blitz package, and so I've got a lot of respect and regard for their players between, linebackers, rushers, the whole thing.
The secondary has been kind of much maligned, but particularly today, they seem the past two games they've played pretty well. What have you seen out of Mikey Sanders still and kind of his growth from week one in Tampa until today?
Yeah, I think for Mikey, for Brandon, for Johnny Newton, for Jayden, for Ben Sinnott, for Yankoff, for, and I'm probably leaving some rookies out, but there is some on-the-job training that goes with being a rookie, and that's okay. I knew that coming in, and I was going to stick right there with them, knowing that you have to go through the hard ones to go. What I didn't want to do was wait till November or December for them to start feeling it like you got to live through the fights. I knew the competitors that they were, so it hurts when you're going through them, but I've done that before, and knowing that on the other side of that is success. But you do have to go through some of the struggles. That's where some of the growth comes from, and it's not comfortable, but I also knew what they were made of, to let up a early play to Jamar Chase in the early first part of the game a few weeks ago. Yeah, that sucks. It hurts. But guys like William Gay, hey, keep going, keep battling for it. And knowing that, we faced some really fantastic receivers over the first part of this season, and that's what our league is. Which each team, if we go back through it, yes, 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 and just to know they're ready to battle for it was significant. And I knew going in there would be some growing pains. That's just how it goes.
Speaking of the secondary, last week you all obviously rotated the defensive backs. This week stuck with the same group pretty much the entire night. Obviously the results were pretty good. Was it just, hey, it's working, let's flow? Or
Correct.
How much of it is, what are the things you're considering as you make that decision, and why perhaps last week?
I think sometimes just you get a hot hand, you're in a flow, and things are going good, the communication's good. You want to stay into that space. We like to roll the big guys inside a lot, knowing that end of the half's coming, end of the games are coming. So I've always been one that, moves the big guys. So I like a big, deep crew that can roll hard. But finding spaces that we're improving on, that was significant. And so that's why we didn't rotate as much into that spot. It had nothing to do player or any of that.
What is it about Mikey that allows him to play outsized despite the size that would have on paper say he can't play out there?
I think like most good players, he has a very good understanding of himself, when to stay down, when to be off, using his own strengths, going in and out. So maybe self-awareness is the right word, knowing when to match up, when to be off. And I thought Ben St. Juste also had a nice job of today.
Take two more.
Coach, you mentioned that the offensive start was kind of grimy. How important is it for your team to have that defense kind of support the offense when that start is so slow?
Yeah, I thought it was good. Our offensive practice Wednesday was kind of grimy. It was hard. We were just coming back from a long trip. It was humid out, and we were battling against one another, competition, offense against the defense. And I said it's days like this past Wednesday. We had an unusually humid day on Wednesday afternoon, and just we were going to go battle. We were going to, we had a third down competition, offense versus defense, right at the start of practice. But it was days like that led to days like today, where it doesn't always look great, and the look wasn't good. You don't start that way, but you just keep battling. You stay in the fight, and that's why I had a lot of regard for that. Knowing I pointed that out at practice on Wednesday. It wasn't our best practice of the year. It was hot, thick, a lot of battling, but those days are important as well because the guys take a lot of pride in getting one another ready to go.
Yeah, sorry if this was already asked, but you brought in guys like Frankie Luvu and Wagner to not just change the mindset of this team, but to more aggressiveness, things like that. To see that play out in a game like this, I know there's ways to go.
Yeah, I thought.
How gratifying is that, hey, this is why we did this, and this is the result we got.
Yeah, it's a good question, Ben, and one that you've probably heard me say, how do we feature the players best in all three phases? To say, how do we feature Eckler and covering kicks differently? We've got a good special teams unit, so can we put the ball in play to do that? Offensively, what are the concepts and the things that Jayden and the guys and the O-line can really do well? And I think that goes along, with Frankie. There's this really cool balance with him and Wags, of what they can do fantastic and how do we feature the players. And I think that's roles on a team. And that was a good sign for that tonight to see Frankie doing that. All right, you guys have a great
Locker
night.
room, Terry said, you guys played well but left some stuff out there. What does it say about your offense that you're able to go over 30 even with leaving some plays on the field?
That's just a testament to how we were able to persevere through our adversity and battle through some things. Like Kerry said, man, we left some stuff out there on the table a lot. So I'm happy to get back and watch the film. It's always better to go back and review stuff after a win, but, we got to improve.
Today, maybe not the same level of efficiency as in the past, but the big plays were there. Was that by design? Did you see different looks today?
Like you trying to ask, like
it looked like it was more man today than maybe zone in the past couple of weeks?
Man, I just missed some throws. That's it. Some throws I wish I had back, but we were able to capitalize on some plays.
Did you notice more fans in your jersey today? And if so, what would you think?
I mean, not at all. Salute to the fans. I appreciate them, but I haven't even really paid attention to that. But, I love that the fans came out and showed support.
Could you walk us through that touchdown to Diami?
Yeah. I ran out of bounds of the play before and then kind of seen some in the defense. I seen they were playing man coverage, and I was turning back around said, man, let's take a shot to Cliff, and he called the play, and we did it.
Jayden, what does it say? You weren't scoring on every drive early in the game. So what does it say about this offense, though, that there were some early, struggles, yet you were able to go out there and do what you guys did?
Yeah, we're going to have to battle. Teams going to come out and then we got to figure out ways to adjust to how they're going to play us. You know, man coverage, zone coverage, what it is, we got to execute, and we weren't executing at first, and that starts with me.
Have you gotten a sense from guys like Terry, John, guys who've been here for a while, about how different this feels right now, and what are you seeing from them?
Honestly, I mean, I'm just excited for those guys to for them to have this feeling, and you know, it's exciting times to get back and go to work, and you know, we're on to the next week now.
Jayden, how important is it for you personally to see the defense kind of have your back if there's a mistake? They take care of it. They get you back on the field quickly. They not giving up points. They're turning the ball over themselves.
I mean, shouts out to the defense. They played a hell of a game. Gave us the opportunities to, even when we weren't clicking at first, to get back on the field and get into the groove, get into a rhythm. So without them, we wouldn't have been in this position today.
Jayden, you've talked about that you don't get rattled at her on the field. I certainly am not going to argue against that. But the first 2 possessions, obviously no points, which is pretty rare for you guys. How did you kind of sort of stay focused, keep your mentality in there to get going after that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a long game. You got to keep battling. Obviously, we had a 3-and-out, then I threw a pick the next possession. So, you know, just bounce it back, man, and go out there and stay the course. Don't get too high, get too low. Everything's going to work out.
And I know it's the other side of the ball, but Frankie Luvu had a huge game today, and he's one of those guys that Dan brought in and Adam brought in to really raise the level of aggressiveness and the mindset here. When you've been around him this summer and in these early games, how have you seen that? And you know, I don't know what you saw today, but what did you think of him today?
Yeah, Frankie's a hell of a player. Full effort, everything, and that's how he practiced. He practiced how he plays. He's a pro, and that's his daily approach, man. So I'm not surprised that he's making these type of plays.
Jayden, the ball to Terry in the first half, kind of scramble drill. What did you see? Did you consider running it? Walk us through that one a little bit.
Yeah, I was able to break out a sack, kept my eyes downfield, and just seen Terry running. Was able just to give him a ball that he was able to catch.
Jayden, Coach Quinn said that it was kind of a grimy performance by the offense. You guys had kind of a grimy week of practice too. How does it feel to come out and get a win when, you know, the situation wasn't as ideal and you guys had to battle through that adversity?
Yeah, man, we got to be better, and that starts with me. That starts with the whole team. We got to hold ourselves to a high standard, take accountability. But, man, it just says that we're going to fight and we're going to be able to battle through adversity no matter wins or losses. We're not going to give up or anything like that.
Along those lines, I know you've been asked countless times about sort of your poise and not being rattled, but how quickly do you just move on to another play after, like, say, the interception? How quickly do you just move on?
Yeah, I mean, plays you want back, but that don't mean anything. That was last possession. You can't really dwell on that. You got a whole new series to focus on.
You took that sack in that second half, a little slow getting up. What were you feeling? I know you're okay now, but what were you feeling?
I was just over exaggerating.
Oh, so you're an actor.
No, I wasn't injured at all. I was over exaggerating for sure.
Could you tell how frustrating the Browns were getting with you just being able to get outside the corner? Because it looked like a few times some of those guys are just kind of slamming the ground in frustration after you get around them and make a big play. Can you feel that?
Nah, I mean, not at all. I mean, I'm just out there playing football, and I'm kind of just reacting to everything that they're doing. I was able to get outside the pocket a couple times, scramble a couple times. So I think after hitting that scramble drill to Terry, I think that kind of put them all high alert, like, hey, we got to stay plastic to our man. So I was able to get the corner on a couple runs.
How much fun are you having?
I mean, obviously a lot of fun. I mean, I love playing football, and it makes it even better when you're winning football games. But regardless, man, I'm just blessed to go out there and be able to play football.
And you have the next game, and it's Lamar. Obviously a guy that they're comparing you to together. How much have you guys conversed at all, if at all, and what do you think?
Yeah, me and Lamar, man, we're very good. We have a good relationship. Obviously, we have similar things in common. Both won the Heisman, but just being there for each other, and he's a hell of a player. So I'm excited to be able to go out there and compete against him next week.
On offense, on their side of the ball, they were kind of banged up on offense as the old linemen, so we kind of took that as an advantage as defense and D-line trying to get after them. So we held it on our shoulders as defense, like this is the game, for us to step forward from where we was at last week. And, we're just getting started and we're just moving forward from here.
I think a couple of weeks ago, I think you and Dan Quinn said you felt like the defense was really close.
Yeah.
Is this kind of the product of that in
Yeah,
your mind?
I mean, we're just getting close, but then again, there's still a lot of plays that was left out there we could improve on. So always room for improvement, and us as a defense, we're just getting started, and, the arrow's pointed up, and that's the direction we want to go.
To have a seven sack game from the defense, I mean, that's fun, right?
Yeah, that's fun. I mean, I'm just happy to be on the winning side of the column. That's it. You know what I mean? And having the guys, man, just seeing everybody with the great energy. We put the work in all week, and to see our fruition come to life, I feel like, that's the moment, we're having fun.
Hey, Frankie, you guys talk a lot about you're not there yet. You don't think you're there yet. You're not showing everything that you guys want to be showing. How close are you, though, after a performance like today?
I mean, like I said, man, this game's not played by perfect men. There's a couple plays out there where if you guys go in the room with me and sit down and watch this film with me, man, there's plays out there, and I can have the safety having my back on that. I missed a drop or missed a pick, and like I said, we're getting there. There's little things that's in the way, but these are the stuff we're going to get over, and that's what I meant by moving forward as a team.
And Dan and you guys talk a lot about playing complementary football. We've seen the offense and what they've been able to do. To see the defense and the offense really work in tandem today, just how much fun is that?
Man, that's so much fun. That's how football's supposed to be played. Offense, they get a turnover. We come on a field, they have a field goal. Special team comes in, put us a field position. Man, that's just football, and that's how it's supposed to be played.
Frankie, can you talk about playing with Bobby Wagner? Because Coach Quinn mentioned that you were the yin to his yang, that he's the kind of quiet force, and then you bring the energy. But speak on playing with Bobby and what you've learned in these 5 games playing with him so far.
I'll say just somebody that's easy to play with. Dude is just, poised. He's put in the work all week. His study habits is crazy. I'm picking things up like today. Like there was a play where it was like they came out empty. And he was like, hey, Frankie, just alert that on the week, he's going to do an option route. He's going to drop right in the curl. And he threw it right behind me, So, I mean, the dude just seen the game so much, I feel like it just slowed down for him. And that's something I kind of picked off and picking his mind towards it. But, man, the dude is just easy to play with. I mean, I'm just blessed and be something to be a part of. And while he's still playing, man, I'm blessed.
Frankie, as a defensive player, you've played against some great quarterbacks. When a guy like Jayden goes off schedule and just flicks it 60 yards downfield, what is that? And the guy's covered, and he just puts it in the one spot it could be in. What does that do to a defense?
Man, it fires us up because we know what Jayden put in all week. You know what I mean? The kid shows up at 4 a.m. Man, he's already lifting in there. Me and Bobby walk in like at 5, 6. Like, dude is already done with his film tape. He's done with his lift. Like, he's already a step ahead. So, like, to see that and what he does on Sundays, it's not, like, shocking. You know what I mean? So, it is to the world because, like, the dude put in a week of work in all week. So, it's the law of compensation, man. What you put in is what you're going to get out. And, for him to do what he does, man, it fires us up and, just have us geek on.
After 3 games, you didn't have a sack yet. Last week, you got a half sack and a forced fumble. Today, 2.5 sacks and a bunch of other things. Yeah. Was there? I'm sure you assumed it was coming, but was there anything that sort of in between there kind of clicked for you, or you kind of just felt more comfortable, or what was it that's led to this surge?
I mean, they just call the call, and I just trying to be in the best position I can. That's out of my control. And when the plays are there to be made, I trying to capitalize on them. And so, I mean. I got 2 today, so I'm gonna stick with that and drink on some tequila. So yeah.
Congrats on the win, Frankie. You talked a little bit about your relationship with Bobby, but that play specifically, he forces the fumble.
Yeah.
You're able to corral that and head upfield with it. How fun is that play specifically for you and Bobby to be a part of?
Man, I should have scored on that. Anyways, we knew on film that Deshaun likes to escape in the B gaps. So when I was coming around the edge, I was like, oh damn, I'm going past him, so I kind of countered back. And so when I countered back to the B gap, I just seen him like looking around, and Bobby just kind of hit him, and the ball just like it couldn't get any better. It just landed in my hands, and DA hit me. You know what I mean? I made a move, DA hit me. But anyways, it's fun, man. That's when the fun of football kind of gets in, and you know, having everybody and the whole sideline, the offense coming in and capitalize on that is complimentary football, like we said, and you know, it's fun.
And then Coach Witt has talked about the complementary game within the complementary game. So in front of you with that defensive front, is there anybody that's in front of you specifically that's kind of standing out this season that's helping you facilitate you to do what you're doing?
Man, I feel like the whole front. I mean, the whole front seven and the back. You know, secondary. I mean, J.A. and Payne. You know, they're top dogs, man. And for them to do what they do, taking double teams, and for us to just play freely, me and Bobby to back them up and be erasers. I mean, it's fun, but at the end of the day, man, the credit goes to them because we can't, everything kind of connect with each other. So, we can't do our job with them being up front and being dogs. I appreciate y'all. I'm going. Thank you.
Fun. That's the biggest thing, fun. Just being a part of this group. We got a good mix of older guys, younger guys. It's a lot of fun.
Defensively, 2 weeks in a row, all phases of this defense has really been clicking. What has been the key in these last 2 weeks of what you're seeing?
Just trying to lock in on the little things. I think, early in the season, it was one guy here, one guy there, and I think it's just we're trying to put it together collectively. Everybody playing on one string, one accord, and I feel like we're getting close to that. We still got a lot of room to go.
Next week, up the road, Baltimore Ravens. They just put out a win today. How do you
Did
see
they win?
Yes, they put out a win in the end. Yeah, they were down. So, of course they did. But how do you see that team as far as you all facing them next week? What's the keys on defense? A different quarterback that you're going to face. Talk to me about what this defense has to do with that team.
I mean, it starts with Lamar. I haven't watched all the film yet, but I'm pretty confident once I turn the film on, it's going to be him. Then they got a really good running back behind him, and that's what makes it hard. You got to stop both of them, and it's a hard thing to do. And so we're up for the challenge. It's going to be a good test for us, and we're looking forward to it. We're going to enjoy this win right now, and then we're going to move on and play those guys. It's going to be our first time, this close. And how did we even get there? I don't even know. Plane or,
just up the road.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
you all fly to
there's
Baltimore.
no way.
Y'all gonna take the speed train or
We have
a
to do
bus?
something. We got to do something. It'd be up and down just like that. So I don't know. It's fun.
When overall this defense, do you feel that they haven't even tapped into their full potential yet?
Yeah, we haven't even. I think there's still plays we haven't ran yet. There's still things that we haven't done. So I'm excited.
Thanks a lot.
Your relationship with Jayden Daniels, your relationship with Jayden Daniels, big brother, little brother. Can you share what you have seen out of Jayden each week?
Man, just the poise. Every week he's getting better. Every week he's reading the defenses and making the calls and having command of the huddle. You see the leadership, the way he's talking to guys and things like that. He's just growing every week, making some amazing throws. Throw to Terry on the money. Just it's really fun to watch. And then you come in and you give him trash about being a rookie. So it's a good balance.
And then soon the linebacker group will have Jordan McGee, rookie Jordan McGee, back into the mix. So how excited are you about that?
I'm excited. I watched him all OTA. We watched him in training camp. Unfortunately, he got hurt that first preseason game. But he's a playmaker, so he's going to be very good for us.
Bobby, I know you and Frankie go back, but can you talk about your relationship on the field and how much that's grown over the last 5 weeks?
Honestly, it starts off the field. We used to train at Four Sports down in Seattle. We would have never thought that we were going to play with each other, and to be able to play with him, and it's just fun. We have a great connection off the field, great chemistry, and so we just bring it onto the field. We constantly talking to each other, we constantly feeding off one another. When I got to get more energy, he gives it to me, and vice versa, and it's just fun. He's fun to play alongside him.
And how good is it for you two to combine on that fumble where you forced the fumble, falls into his hands? How fun is that?
It was great. I didn't even know. I didn't even know the ball came out. I just heard the crowd, and then I saw Frankie running, so I thought he picked it.
Yeah.
So that's dope. I love that. They said he should have scored. I haven't seen it. They said he should have beat somebody, so I talked trash to him when I see the play.
Fine. Do you see a future you in Frankie as far as leader of a locker room, leader of a team?
Of course. I mean, I don't think I'm not really in the comparison thing. I think Frankie's his own person, but he's an amazing leader. Somebody that's just contagious. His energy is contagious. I think he's finding his voice. His play speaks for itself, and it's just like I said, it's just fun to be a part of it.